My name is Sarah, and I'm 33 years old. I married Daniel when I was 25, he's 38 now. We've built a life together for 9 years, and we have a daughter, Mia, who just turned 6. There was a time when our home felt like the safest place on earth. Every evening we'd sit together with 2 cups of hot cocoa, laughing over nothing, talking about everything. I felt cherished. I felt chosen. But somewhere over the last several months, that warmth quietly disappeared. Daniel started coming home late, eating dinner without a word, scrolling his phone until he fell asleep. On weekends, he'd disappear to the gym or lock himself in his study. He always said he was just busy. But busy doesn't explain the silence that filled every room he walked into. I used to be his partner in everything. I balanced our finances, proofread his emails, sat beside him during hard decisions. Now he tells me he can handle it alone. He says he doesn't want to burden me. Something about the way he says it makes my chest ache, like I'm being politely erased from his life. These days, I stay home with Mia. I cook, I clean, I wait by the window for headlights that come home later and later. There's no Coco anymore. No late-night talks. No laughter bouncing off the kitchen walls. I miss the way he used to look at me like I was the only person in the room. I miss being someone's whole world. I told myself maybe he was just exhausted. Maybe work had drained something out of him that time would restore. So one Friday, I sent Mia to stay with my sister. I wanted one night, just one, where it was only the 2 of us. I cooked his favorite meal, the lemon chicken his mother taught me to make. I wore the navy dress he once said made him fall in love with me all over again. I curled my hair. I lit candles. And when he walked through the door, he barely looked up. He ate in silence, thanked me quietly, and went to bed. He never even noticed the dress. I sat alone in the kitchen that night with my tea going cold, feeling like a stranger inside my own home. The next morning, even though it was Saturday, he left before sunrise. I didn't cry. I just sat there, staring at the empty chair across from me, wondering when exactly I had become invisible. That night, I finally worked up the courage to speak. I needed to hear the truth, even if it broke me. When he came home, I asked gently, "Can we talk?" He looked startled, like the question itself was foreign to him. We sat on the couch, and I fought to keep my voice steady even as my eyes filled with tears. "You've changed," I told him. "We don't talk anymore. You don't look at me the way you used to." He stared at the floor. I asked the question that had been eating at me for weeks. "Do you still love me?" He said. "Of course I do. I'm just stressed. Work has been a lot." I nodded, but the doubt didn't leave. Then I asked the question I was most afraid to ask out loud. "Is there someone else?" He looked shocked, almost offended. "No, never." He told me he loved me, asked me to be patient, promised things would get better. He held my hand and looked me in the eye, and for a moment I believed him completely. "Just give me a little more time," he said. "I'll try to change." I wanted so badly to believe it that I said, "Okay, I'll wait." Days turned into weeks and nothing changed. He still came home late. He still ate in silence. He still felt like a stranger sitting across the table. I kept trying, I smiled through it, kept the house running, played with Mia, even planned a weekend getaway for the 2 of us. He canceled, citing meetings again. That night I sat alone in our dark, quiet kitchen and whispered to no one, "When did love start to feel this lonely?" I pulled out our old photo albums, our wedding day, our honeymoon in the mountains, Mia's first birthday. I saw joy in every picture. I saw us, the version of us I was desperately trying to hold on to. So I sent Mia to my sister's again. I waited for Daniel to come home. When he did, he walked straight past me into his office without so much as a hello and shut the door behind him. I stood outside that door for a long moment. I raised my hand to knock, and then I didn't. I turned around and went back to the kitchen, back to my cold cup of tea, thinking maybe he just doesn't see me anymore. Maybe I've already disappeared. That night I lay in bed staring at the empty space beside me. He had already left for work, no kiss, no goodbye, just silence. My heart felt heavy in a way that had nothing left to cry with. I made Mia breakfast and smiled at her, even though I was falling apart inside. That afternoon I tried one more time. When Daniel walked in, I asked softly, "Want to go for a walk with me?" He looked at me, tired and distant. "Not now, Sarah, maybe later," he said. I nodded, but something inside me quietly shattered again. That night, while he worked late in his study, I packed a small bag, clothes for Mia, clothes for myself. Then I sat down and wrote him a letter. I wrote, "I still love you, Daniel. I still believe in us, but I can't keep being the only one fighting for this marriage. I miss your heart more than I miss your presence. You asked me to wait, and I waited with love, with patience, and with tears. Now I need to find myself again." I can't stay invisible any longer. I left the letter on the table, my eyes blurred with tears. I took Mia's hand, and we walked out into the quiet night. I didn't leave because I stopped loving him. I left because I needed to heal. We stayed with my sister for a week. Then Daniel texted me. He said he missed me. He said he missed Mia. He said he was ready to change, ready to fix things. Part of me wanted so badly to believe him that I went home, still holding on to hope for our little family, still willing to try. One night after Mia had gone to sleep, I saw his phone light up on the counter while he was in the shower. I wasn't trying to look. I didn't want to. But a message appeared on the screen from a woman. It said, "I miss you. Did you think about me today?" My heart stopped. My hands started shaking. I didn't open it. I didn't need to. I already knew. Tears filled my eyes just as Daniel walked back into the room, smiling like nothing in the world was wrong. I looked at him and wanted to scream, wanted to demand answers, but I said nothing. That night I lay beside him while he slept peacefully, and I cried silently into my pillow. I had given him everything, my time, my love, my years, and he had quietly given his heart to someone else. The next morning I didn't cry and I didn't yell. I just sat at the kitchen table in silence. He walked in and said, "Morning," like it was any other day. I didn't answer. He didn't even notice. He left for work as usual. I watched Mia play in the living room and smiled at her even though I was breaking apart inside. That afternoon I sat Daniel down and spoke calmly. "I saw the message," I said. He went pale and said nothing. "I gave you 9 years of my life," I told him. "I trusted you completely. I still want to believe in us, but I can't keep living like this." He didn't deny it. He just said, "I'm sorry, I never meant to hurt you." That was the moment I finally understood the distance, the silence, the coldness. None of it had been in my head. It was real. I stood up and told him, "I need time. I need space to breathe, to feel like myself again." That night, I packed a small bag once more. I took Mia back to my sister's house. It hurt more than anything I'd ever felt, but I knew, deep down, it was what I had to do, not because I stopped loving Daniel, but because I had to start loving myself again. I wanted peace. I wanted light. I wanted to feel alive again. Sometimes love isn't enough to hold two people together, and sometimes, even with a full heart, you have to walk away. I didn't choose this path to destroy what we had. I chose it to find myself again, to find my strength because I had to. I left the silence and the sadness behind me, and step by step I walked toward healing, toward hope, toward a new beginning for me and for Mia.